Hey guys, how you doing today? Big rainy day outside, so I got to do one of these inside. Doug Ford announces further restrictions on to battle the crisis of COVID that he admits himself we are losing. We are losing the battle between vaccines and variants, and so one assumes that if you are losing the battle, right, that you have to do uh, more intense, focused changes to what you're doing. Doug Ford's restrictions are going to be meaningless, right? They are going to be meaningless. They are not going to work because they don't address fundamentally the structural problem that we are facing, right? Hi, I'm the Canadian commie. The structural problem we are facing is capitalism and the capitalist system. That we force people to sell themselves into a market that is dominated by billionaires, right? And if they don't sell themselves, we withhold food and shelter from them, right? You can't get food and shelter unless you sell yourself into a billionaire dominated market. Along comes COVID, right? And says, well, if you do that, you're just going to infect one another and it's going to lead to incredible deaths. The modeling data is telling us that by the end of May, we could have 20,000 cases daily, right? That means it's a rampaging, out of control situation, right? That is no longer a pandemic. That is a plague, right? And with the highly contagious nature of the variants and the fact that they are hitting people in my age group, my expectation at this point is that we actually do what we should have done in the first place, which is actually lock the place down, right? We've never done a proper lockdown. We've never done anything serious, right? It's always been this dickering, right? And it's this dickering specifically to ensure that capitalism is the one that gets saved. Doug Ford doesn't care if you die, right? Doug Ford doesn't care if 100,000 citizens need to die, right? He's not there to save people's lives. Right? He doesn't care about your lives. He cares about saving capitalism. That's what he's there to save. So what's the structural issue? People get up from their house, they get on the TTC, they go to work with a bunch of people who have done exactly the same thing, they get back on the TTC, they go home, repeat. That's the structural issue. And if you try to break it, right, if you try to break that structure, the only way to do it is to keep people home. Well, then how do people get food and shelter? How do they make money to get food and shelter? Because the structure of the system is that we have to sell ourselves to a group of billionaires who don't care about us, obviously. And if we don't, then we don't get food and shelter. So if you want to break that and if you want to keep people home, and simultaneously make sure they have the food and shelter to do it, you have to pay them to do it through something like the CERB, through something like a basic income, right? You have to do that if you're interested in saving lives, which Doug Ford is not, obviously, right? What Doug Ford is doing is he's just making it so you can no longer see your friends outside. He's making it so that cops can come and harass you if you're outside, right? That's the death cult way, right? Have cops harass you. Don't pay people to stay home, right? And why can't they pay people to stay home? Because it's not an issue of finances, right? Money's not real, right? We can literally just do that. And the reason why they can't, though, is because their goal is not to save lives. Their goal is to save capitalism, right? And if they pay people to stay home, the populace is suddenly going to realize, oh, we could have always done this. We could have always structured our society so that everyone has access to food and shelter as a byproduct of being in the society. We could have always done this. Oh, why don't we? Why aren't we just giving people access to food and shelter? Why are we selling ourselves to a market that is dominated by billionaires in order to get food and shelter, which they withhold from us? Why are we doing anything these capitalists say at all, for that matter? And so Doug Ford, when put to the question of, hey, Dougie, do you want to save lives or do you want to save capitalism? Doug Ford chooses capitalism, and he doesn't care how many people need to die in order to do it. If you're one of these people that dump out of these videos at around this time, please like, share, subscribe, right? We need to send leftist messaging around. We need to confront these death cultists who are not interested in saving our lives, who are not interested in helping us, who are not interested in helping our doctors, who are not interested in helping our nurses. They are strictly interested in lining their pockets with our blood and our labor. That is all they're interested in doing. And if you want that message to keep going around, you gotta like, you gotta share, you gotta subscribe. It's as simple as that. What we are putting our doctors through and what we are putting our nurses through is unholy, right? It is evil what we are doing to our doctors and nurses, right? We are literally saying, you have to deal the brunt of our inability and unwillingness to confront a system that enslaves the populace to billionaires who do not care about us whatsoever. These people are going to end up with high levels of PTSD. They are going to be overwhelmed. The amount of ridiculous nonsense, the amount of ridiculous choices that these people are going to have to tolerate and put up with is going to leave them with scars that are going to run deep in their psyche. And my recommendation, if you are a doctor or if you are a nurse listening to this right now, take over the Liberal Party. Take it over. We will let you. And push forward on things like a basic income. But 10 sick days, are you kidding me? The idea that this conversation that we're having that is coming from the left has revolved around 10 sick days is pathetic. It is pathetic that the front that the leftists are putting up against Doug Ford's death cult that is literally trying to sell us to billionaires who are actively abandoning us. The idea that we're confronting them and saying, hey, can we get 10 sick days? And we can't even get that, right? The doctors and the nurses need to take over the Liberal Party or take over the NDP. I don't give a crap. Take over one of these parties, right? And run it. And run as far as you can away from the people who are responsible for putting you in the situation that you're in right now. And that's the death cult of conservatism, right? They are sacrificing your lives. They are sacrificing your time. They are sacrificing you. They are sacrificing your labor. They are sacrificing the people you love. They are sacrificing time with the people you love for money for themselves. That is what they are doing. That is how capitalism is structured. We need to take over the Liberal Party. We need to take over the NDP, and we need to dismantle capitalism to the ground. And what am I talking about there? I'm not talking about negotiating with these guys. I'm not talking about negotiating with someone like Doug Ford. I'm not talking about negotiating with the capitalist death cult. I am saying that we need to stand up, look them in the eye, and say, your time is done. You no longer have assets. Your businesses are nationalized. We are transferring your wealth into the populace. You no longer are part of the discussion because when you had the opportunity to be part of the discussion, you erected a death cult that sacrificed us for money for yourself. That is what is happening. And we need to do everything we can to stop it and prevent it. Like, we can't stop this thing rampaging any longer. Doug Ford certainly isn't. He's not going to pay people to stay home, which is exactly what we need to do, which is precisely what we need to do, right? We literally need people to stay home. We can't have people go home, get on the TTC, go to a workplace where they mingle with a bunch of people who are doing the same, get back on the TTC, go home. That's obviously the problem. That's obviously what's happening to us. And instead of actually dealing with that on any meaningful or structural level, we're being told, hey, stop hanging out with your friends outside. Here's a cop who's going to come and harass you. Right? Are you kidding? Like, are you kidding? And the answer from Doug Ford is no. I need you to go make me Timmy's so that I can send my assistant to go get some Timmy's so that I can turn around and have my Timmies, well, you die for it, right? That's what's happening. It's pathetic. It's a death cult. We're sacrificing everything we have to the death cult. Stay home if you can. And if you gotta go to work because you gotta sell yourself to billionaires in order to get the food and shelter they're withholding from you, right? If you gotta go to work, for God's sakes, be as safe as you possibly can. These variants are terrifying, and we're losing, and we're going to lose, right? And why are we going to lose? Because Doug Ford is standing in front of us saying, some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make, right? And this is something we're supposed to tolerate. This is something we're supposed to expect. And guess what? This is exactly how they're going to act when climate change rears its head, right? There's a looming demon that's coming down the road and is going to eat us all up and burn down everything we love. And it's called climate change. And that exactly how they're acting in order to deal with COVID is exactly how they're going to deal with climate change. They're going to sacrifice everything to maintain the system that's generating the problem. They're going to sacrifice everything to maintain the system that's generating the problem. And we're just going to be told, deal with it. We're just going to be told, well, you better pull yourself up by your bootstraps. We're just going to be told, oh man, if only these kids were following the rules. What the hell are you talking about? What the absolute hell are you talking about? And so here we are facing this issue, right? Here we are looking at this issue right in the eye. And what are we supposed to do about it? What are we supposed to do about it? And so I'm going to take a lot of extra time in this video and do something I do every time. You are doing wonderfully. You are doing wonderfully. Every decision you're making is absolutely correct. Anybody who's going to stand in front of you and tell you that you're doing a bad job, or tell you that you just need to study harder, or tell you that you just need to work harder, or tell you that you just need to stand up straight with your shoulders back, or clean your room, or any of this kind of stuff, these people are frauds. These people are frauds and they're quacks. You need to make the best decisions for yourself, and you know what they are because you're the one living through the experience. You're the one that's making the decisions for yourself. You are a divine being standing on divine energy, and you don't need to listen to people who are actively attempting to exploit you for your labor while you sacrifice your life while they do absolutely nothing. Capitalists are worthless. They offer no value. They provide no value whatsoever. They take your value and steal it for themselves. That's how capitalism works. And within the confines of that structure, you're doing wonderfully, without a doubt, right? The ship is sinking. We're on a sinking ship, and the captain is literally standing in a lifeboat, right? Telling us, no, everything's going to be totally fine. You guys just need to follow the rules. Nonsense. Nonsense. You are doing wonderfully. You are doing great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep making the decisions you have to make. You're making tough decisions in a tough environment, right? While dealing with leaders who do not give a shit about you. The only thing they care about is your labor. That's it. So you're doing wonderfully. You're trying as hard as you can. You're beautiful. If you've made it to this point, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any better. The people you are dealing with on a day-to-day basis, the people that are in the shit with you, those are your brothers and sisters. Those are the people you need to stand in solidarity with. Because Doug Ford is not going to. He never will. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. He will never pay to keep you home. He will never do a proper lockdown. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. Good luck. We're going to need it.